Basketball is life, man.
Hey guys, thank you for joining us for another exciting episode of YOMO. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast. And today's reflection 331. And the book is The Sixth Extinction,
Yeah.
an Unnatural History by Elizabeth Kolbert. So this is a two-part reflection. This is part one or two.
Yeah, it's good book. Really good book, actually. I really enjoyed this one, actually. It was kind of caught me off guard. I didn't know.
Sounds intriguing. The
It
Sixth
is.
Extinction.
Yeah. So apparently, or this is what I've learned. There's been mass extinction events in the history of Earth, or at least, this is what
At least that we know of.
at least that we know of, and or that we think of at this point in time, right? So there's been five at least documented that we think mass extinction events
That we can recall.
that we can recall, right? That where the Earth, like it says in the title, when the diversity of life on Earth suddenly and dramatically contracted. So the most famous one is like the asteroid, right, that took out the dinosaurs. we all know, and the mammals survived. Which we have books to come in the future. That is the rise and reign of mammals and the rise and fall of dinosaurs. Which it's pretty fascinating stuff, honestly, of how we even got to be mammals, right? Because we used to be little rats, basically like little rodents that burrowed into the ground, and that's how we survived. We had a diverse omnivore diet, and we lived underground, so we survived all the bullshit. So that was an interesting thing that we'll talk about in the future. But this particular one is this author Elizabeth Kolbert speculating on human beings basically being the sixth extinction event, as our lasting legacy of we're destroying this planet, basically, is the point.
So we are the sixth extinction.
We are the sixth extinction.
We are the last of the six.
No, we would be the next extinction event. Is going to be caused by us. Is the theory?
But we are not the one that become extinct like the dinosaur is. When they
no, we will. We're going to kill
asteroid. The asteroid is the cause of the dinosaur extinction.
Yeah.
So are we saying we gonna cause an extinction, or we will be the extinction?
Both. We're gonna.
So
well, I guess I don't know. I mean, nobody's saying that humans won't figure out a way to survive. They're saying that we're going to cause a mass extinction event on Earth, due to our growth, rise, and how we are abusing the resources like no other has ever done on this planet before. As the human population, that's the speculation. It's the sixth extinction event, right? So this whole book's about exploring like the impact that humanity's had on this Earth, and it is pretty actually interesting. Everywhere that like it's kind of true, in a weird way. Every continent that we've flooded to, like we've magically everything goes extinct besides us. It's not a coincidence, I don't think, but at the same time, I don't think we mean to do it. I think it's just we're just doing what we do and trying to be mapaches. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean,
yeah.
You can't fault a beaver for building dams. I mean,
yeah, I know, right? We're idiots and do what we do. So this the first reflection is about this concept that the author talked about called the madness gene. And I really liked it. It makes it something that got me thinking. Love to get your thoughts on it. So one of the most important concepts that I remember coming across early on in this journey, or about midway through this journey, we talk about this book a lot, but Moonwalking with Einstein. You remember? And this is probably one of my top five. If we had a book of we have a book of truisms, right? The aphorisms by True. I think this would be an aphorism of this would be a criticism, for sure. Would be monotony collapses time and novelty unfolds it. I heard that first in Moonwalking with Einstein, and I was like, son of a bitch. It just light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, it's so true. It's whenever I'm bored, I'm when I'm the least happy in my life is when I'm bored. Like, I mean, I can without a doubt say that everything could be going great, and if I'm bored and I don't have a new challenge or new problem to solve or a new monthly challenge that I'm doing or something like that, or some other stupid project or some other problem that's come across my path, like I get miserable. And you remember when I told you I tried to do one of my monthly challenges twice now. I've tried to do this twice with the monthly challenge of being bored for 10 minutes, just 10 minutes of sitting around being bored for 10 minutes in a day. And it feels like it lasts like 3 hours and I fall asleep every time. Like, I mean, it is the hardest thing that I think I've ever done. Out of any challenge that I've ever done, it is the hardest. And I hate it. I hate every minute of it. And I don't want to do it. And and it's eating the frog. It's like, it's more than eating the frog. It's like eating I don't know, what's something grosser? The snake. It's eating the snake. It's a raw snake. It's like it's alive. Eating an alive snake. It's just, it's horrible. I hate it. I hate every second of it. Being bored drives me nuts, and it makes time just feel like it drags on forever. Whereas on the flip side of it, novelty unfolds time. Feels like time just disappears. Like, I mean, when you're learning new stuff and you're having, like, whenever you and I talk every single night, we're learning together, we're enjoying our time together, we're having good conversations. Feels like you look up, time, an hour passes and you're like, holy shit, versus an hour on a QBR for me. And I'm like, like, when is this over? This feels so long. And I'm stretching over here in the back. I'm like, oh man, where'd this back pain come from? Oh God, I'm so sore. Like, I need water. I'm so thirsty. I gotta go to the bathroom. Like, whatever. It's like, just.
Whatever you do, every time you look up, say, I went to the bathroom. It only took me like a minute. Gee,
Right.
It should have taken me like 15 minutes, but no, it's only a minute. Shit.
It takes forever. Like, and just boredom sucks, right? So that was aha number one. Then aha number two comes in the form of Sapiens, which was very early on in this journey. This was actually only like a few months after Amelia had passed away that I read Sapiens. And that, fundamentally, Sapiens, I learned, that was one of our top 5 favorite books, right? And there was a whole lot of new concepts and lessons that I learned in that book that kind of blew my mind. I would say the biggest was that imagination is our superpower. And the second biggest from that book is, and how it relates to this one, is the idea that our ancestors would get on a boat, go to no idea where the fuck they were going, leave their friends and family behind, and
just to bring back a kumquat tree.
A kumquat, yeah, like maybe bring that back. Like, maybe, like, if they were lucky, they would land somewhere where they could maybe bring back some cinnamon, and you're like, whoa.
You're talking about multi-year voyage to bring back a lemon.
I mean, like, in that it's beyond wild, right? Like, to think about, they would literally risk everything and go travel around the world to maybe bring back a lemon. Now, we, on the other hand, and we've talked about this before in a past reflection, like, we, on the other hand, have everything. Like, I mean, we have more right here in our hand than those people had, and probably the collective knowledge of all of Europe or something like that at that point in time, that we could access at any moment. Like, we can learn anything we want to learn. We can do anything. We can explore anything. We can go anywhere. We can, like, we could do pretty much anything. And most of us sit on our asses at home and, stare at the TV and go, it's too hard. It's like, and like, this is what we were born to do, is to go explore and figure this stuff out, right? So now the third thing, the element that gets thrown into this equation, comes from this book, which is the madness gene. And what the author talks about is, we have this compulsion to learn, explore, question, and discover new things in this world. And it doesn't make any sense. Like, we can literally have everything that we need. You could have a happy home, happy family, happy, meaningful work, meaningful relationships, and you could just sit around and go, this is pretty nice, like, but no, that is not how we think. Like, it is never good enough. Like, there's all the growth monster is always there. We always are imagining the future. How can we do more? How can we do better? Like I said, like, as soon as I have no problems to solve, I'm like, I got to find problems to solve. I'll go invent problems to solve. I'll go try to open up a pickleball club. And you're like, Chris, why are you trying to open up a pickleball club? You make good money. You're happy. Your career's in a good place. You got meaningful work, meaningful relationships. We're doing whatever we're doing, but no, not happy. Are we fucking crazy? I don't know. I really don't know the answer to this. Like, this is the theory, is like that there is maybe some like madness gene that humans have where we cannot stop. we can't ever, like, there's no other species to my knowledge in this world where they go, well, we have shelter and we have food, like, we got a good place here, like, let's maybe go try to hoof it across the ocean to see if we can go find a better place. Maybe go find a lemon tree to go bring back and tell the other dogs or the other wolves in the tribe, hey, we found a lemon tree over, like, we lost half the pack, but but we found a fucking lemon tree over here, guys. Like, you want to come, like, anyway. So it made me, this madness gene idea made me think about like just how incredibly important this is for us. Like, I don't care if you can call us crazy, you can call us whatever, but like, all I know is combining all these things together, novelty unfolds time, monotony compresses time, novelty unfolds it. We have this innate desire to go explore the world, and we're never going to be satisfied with anything that we find. It doesn't matter. Like, you fill up the bucket, you get rid of with 10 problems, you get rid of them all, and immediately 10 problems come right back in. I mean, like, it never ends, right? But what I do know is I don't know why we do this stuff, and I don't really care. All I know is if a beaver must dam, this is fucking fun, and it makes me feel like I'm connecting to my daughter. And this is why I love learning something new every single day. This is why I love hopping on this podcast with you. This is why I love doing all this stuff. So we get to go explore these things together, and we get to go, I don't know. It's fun. It's just fucking fun, and it makes life enjoyable. And I really like that. So, like, I'm going to keep doing that. Like, call me crazy, call whatever. I don't really care, but love to get your thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're certainly not crazy, and I've said this many times. We have the innate desire to discover and to share. That's something that is in a gene. You can call it madness gene, you can call whatever gene you want, but essentially, we, as a human being, as a species, we live in motion. We cannot. Basically, our brains it feeds on changes, because so an example would be if you notice that your eyes, they have very micro movements, right? Because it's fixating, and it has two eyes, so that it's fixing on something, and it's actually moving it, right? So because the changes allows the brain to be awake and start to process it. If you fix on a single point and you don't move your eyes at all, and the image that it goes to the brain doesn't change, the brain starts to shut down.
Is that what happens when you do those little, like, those blurry-eyed photos you put in front of yourself, and you have to, like, blur your vision, like, you have to, like, stare at it really, really hard and not blink, and then your vision blurs and the image pops out? Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know that. But
is that what happens?
No, that's not it. If you fixate on a single point, and if you don't move at all, like your eye doesn't move and your face, your neck doesn't move, like that means like the image that is being reflected on your eye and your pupil, it doesn't change. You're gonna start seeing black, completely black, right? That means your brain is shutting down. So this is why we need novelty, because without novelty, without changes, your brain doesn't run. It runs on changes, on deltas. So it's just like emotion detector. It sits there, right? Until there's a motion, there is not a single change, right? And so therefore the motion detector doesn't show up. And so the eye does exactly the same thing, and your brain's its fuel is changes. So we have an innate desire to feed the brain changes so that it runs, and that's why we cannot stay still. That's what you call the human gene. The human gene is that gene. I mean, you can't say, well, I have a comfortable life, but that's not what your gene wants.
Right. It's not. I mean, it's like
your gene say, I need you to give me changes.
Right.
Changes is what I crave. So if you say, hey, give me changes, and you don't give him changes, how can you be satisfied? So you have to satisfy your gene, and your gene says, give me deltas, give me all these deltas, all the differences you see that aligns with who I am, what I like. Then you give me that, then I will give you the I guess the activations of the brains and neurons fire and all this, because without it, you start so slowly collapsing your brain. Your brain starts to go to sleep, and it shuts down.
Right.
It's trying to preserve energy, just like I mean, it's designed that way. It's designed to preserve energy, meaning that if there's nothing for me to process, why am I processing the same image over and over and over? It's optimization. But optimization is also, the downside to that is, without any changes, then it doesn't wake up. Just like a CPU, it doesn't wake up and process anything. Say, hey, there's a line in the bush. The bush moving. If the bush doesn't move, who cares? It's boring, right? It starts to shut down. It starts to preserve the energy because the brain takes so much energy from the body.
It does, yeah.
Right, and it has priority over everything. It will eat your muscle, your brain, your organs, right, to keep you alive. The brain has that capacity, but that's why for the human species, it only wakes up and activate and runs only when it detects changes. And so you can call that a managed gene, you can call that the human gene. I call that human. I mean, human, we needed that. We have the innate desire, a compel, we have a compulsion to explore and to share. That is something that every human being has, regardless who you are. You can be an introvert, an extrovert, whatever you are. You have a basis, common core human gene. That is the gene of explorations and discovery, and to share that. And then that's the novelty that you're talking about in the walking with Einstein, because novelty is essentially, I mean, you're going like 100 miles an hour and time just flies, right? But if you have something that starts to shut down, it just, your brain's, and it's very, I don't know how to describe the feeling, but the feeling is so heavy in terms of how you, and you're trying to keep yourself awake. That's like almost like holding the world on your shoulder.
It's horrible. Like, it makes me wonder what my dog thinks every day. Like, I mean, it really does, because it's like, does 16 years of a dog's life feel like 90 years of a human's life because they're just fucking bored every day? Like, I mean, and where they're just like, well, eat the same food every day, piss in the same spot every day. Like, we go on, maybe if I'm lucky, we get to go on a walk to a new area today. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, my dog doesn't give a shit. Like, she will lay in the same spot now as an old dog, all day long, right? Like, and it's like, what is she doing? Like, what is she thinking about? Does she care? Does she want time to go longer? Does she you don't ever hear your dogs go up and say, hey, Drew, it's been nice knowing you, but I really just gotta, hit that road, like, and go find myself, and like, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck you talking about, Leah? You got a pretty good life here. You got everything you need. Like, what do you, why are you gonna go? I don't know, man. I just gotta go. Like, you're like,
I mean, this is what I'm saying, is a beaver must dam, because if your gene is to be building dams, and that's what you do. Our gene is, life is in motion.
Yeah.
Life is not static, because we crave motions. I mean, I told you about, like, we yearn to go on a vacation. The moment we go on vacation, we yearn to get back, right? So we yearn to go on an airplane. Hurry up and get on an airplane, and hurry up and fly. Hurry up and land. Hurry up and get out, and then hurry up and go back, right? I mean, we yearn for the next thing. It's not the destination that we want. It's the changes that we want. Hey, I saw this, now I saw that.
Right.
One time I want a circle, now I want a square, right? The thing is, you look at even fashion, even like design and trends, right? Before it's a round, right? The iPhone become round, now the iPhone becomes square, and then it can be round again. It's not like, hey, the rectangle phone is better than the round one or the curved one or whatever. There's gonna be curve, and then it's gonna be not curve, and then be curve again. And that's the way we need the changes, because that's what feeds us brain to make the gene fires, the activation. And once we wake up, and then these are the novelty, the experiences that we see. But once your brain starts to shut down, and for you to keep it awake, right? To keep an engine awake is very, very difficult, and it's so heavy. It feels like it took so much willpower just to keep yourself awake. That's why I don't like to drive, because the oozing sound of the wind in the car makes my brains go into this.
Oh my God, dude, you're so right.
It's like
Whenever
a
I'm
trance, and
whenever I'm
trying
on
to stay
a
awake.
oh my God, I want to pass out all the time when I'm on a highway by myself and I'm just like, holy shit, like I can't stare at the same fucking road, for I mean,
I mean, I slap myself like
yeah,
many
yeah,
times,
yeah, yeah,
and
I know. You gotta
you know,
pound
it's
Red
like,
Bull or like, eat.
and even Red Bull doesn't. I mean, like I say, it doesn't keep you awake. I mean, for
It does no,
me,
it's no, like music. I don't care. None of it does helps.
yeah, it
I'm
doesn't.
like I'm just staring at the same road, just going nowhere. It's like just I mean, actually, I kind of enjoy. Maybe this is one of the reasons why I've always enjoyed driving in the cities, like in the actual city streets, more than driving on the interstates, because
Hmm.
like I gotta always be
Because
on my
the
toes when I'm
scenery
moving
doesn't
about.
change. The scenery
Yes,
doesn't change. Like,
right. It's
but in the
exactly right.
city, you see the
Right.
light, the building, blah, blah, right? Your brains is it's firing, it's
Right.
activating, right? And so
Yep.
it's not as bad. But you drive it in a, especially when you, I don't know if you drive anywhere to like from Houston to San Antonio or past San
Mhm.
Antonio.
Yeah. Yep.
There's literally nothing. All you see is like
Yep.
brown grass, and it's completely. I mean, and the rails is the same fucking thing, like for like 200 miles. Like,
Yep.
good God, there's nothing changes.
There's some hills.
There's no hills.
There's some hill countries in that area. Are you talking about like flat? Like I
It's
haven't gone far
it's,
enough where it's totally flat.
it's
I've gone
flat.
over.
It's flat.
I've been to Bandera,
Yeah,
uh,
but there.
uh, and I've been to Fredericksburg, and I've been. I think that's probably about the furthest. I think Bandera is probably the furthest west of San Antonio that I've ever
Mhm.
been. I'd have to look at the map. I don't know. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like because I
But
mean we've
but what I'm trying to say is, the feeling of trying to keep yourself, to keep your brain awake during that trance.
oh yeah, it's
It
horrible.
is the awful feeling ever. I don't know if I can. I mean, I don't know what's worse, right? Being, being get somebody cane you on the back for like 20 canes, or having to stay awake. And
Horrible.
especially when you drive far, like 9-10 hours. I mean, I don't know how truckers do it, but I can't do it.
Dude, I was just telling my wife this the other day. Like I don't know how anybody likes being a truck driver. I cannot imagine that job. Like that is the most boring thing that I would ever do. Sitting in a chair all day long, driving down a road and on interstates, like in a massive truck. There's just nothing that I could think of that would be more miserable than that existence. Being not comfortable, being away from my family, being away from my own stuff that I wanted to do, not even exploring anywhere. I'm just literally just driving. Like, like I guess if you really just enjoyed scenery, like sure, but like you don't get to get out, you don't get to go explore anywhere, you don't get to use your body at all. You're just sitting in a chair staring at the same roads over and over again, and you're like, man, that would be miserable.
But
Like
not only is it a robot, it's like a trance. And you see other roads passing you by like this. It's like a trance.
oh, it's
I
horrible.
mean, I mean, like I told you, I can't drive more than 4 or 5 minutes because before my willpower runs out. I mean, maybe because I have so little willpower that I could not continue down that road. I mean, I've seen people who drive, pretty far, but for me, it's like 45 minutes my max. After that, like I need to distract myself with something, right? And that's the
Right.
thing is, with an audio book, I was able to keep.
Yeah.
Uh, the thing is, music for me is I don't actually listen to music. I mean, because I guess the tempo and whatnot. That's what I hear. I don't listen, right? When I have an audio book, I actually listen to the word and imagine. So it's the imagination. It starts to fire. That's what keeps me awake. Otherwise, I don't know how I could drive more than 3 hours. I
Yeah.
mean, it's stressing it.
That's about my limit too,
I
man.
mean,
Where I'm
even for
like,
me from here, from Houston, here to drive to Austin, where my brothers live. I mean, that's like 2.5 hours, and even I even dread that trip. I mean, he wants me
oh
to
yeah.
go, this place, that place, whatever. I say, I mean, it's family, so once or twice a year I go, but 2.5 hours. Can you imagine that? Dreading 2.5 hour drive.
Oh, I know
This is
exactly what
a
you mean.
this is
I
a prime example of
how long-
what you meant by novelty. Unfold time and monotonous just collapses it. It's just because
it feels like it takes you all day.
it drives you crazy.
It does. It does. I mean, like driving it's about 2.5 hours to Chicago from here. Like that drive up 65 north in northern Indiana is the most boring drive you will ever have in your entire life. I mean, it is just mind numbing, like what you're talking about. And like, I swear to you, it always feels 2.5 hours. Like I could listen to an audio book on a walk for 2.5 hours, and it feels like it'll be like you said, like, I don't know, 30 minutes or something like that, maybe, or 15 minutes or whatever. I don't even know. But like I could do that all day long. I do it all day long. I do it every day. Like, and I don't even think twice about it. But you put me in a car for 2.5 hours, like, and just staring at the road, it feels like
I drive for 15 minutes, right? And little 15 minutes, and I thought I drove an hour.
Right.
I mean, it's just one of those things where I just don't understand how time slows down so much. Like,
boring.
Hey, I mean, when you watch a basketball game, like, hey, give me 5 minutes, and then the next thing you look up and say, hey, it's only been 2 minutes. Why? I'm just checking. I was on halfway. It's been 20 minutes, right? And then you go on this podcast, right? We've been on it for 30 minutes, right? And it's only like we thought been on here for 5 minutes. That's the thing is,
Yeah, for real. I mean,
when your
I
brain
didn't
is
realize it's been 30 minutes.
activating, it gives you the euphoric feeling. It gives you the joyful feeling that your gene craves, and that gene is a human gene. And I don't. To me, I believe that every single person has this gene. It's whether or not you have enough willpower to sustain you through the the unwanted, undesired, the feeling is a lot of people have more willpower than I have very little willpower, because for me it's like I told you, I don't run for train. Like for me, like if you say, hey, there's a boulder that's in front of me, I may like nudge a little bit, and if it doesn't move, I will stop. I will literally stop pushing it. I will find another way. Because my willpower is not that deep.
I got a question for you about not running for trains and the madness gene. It's not that you don't run for trains. You do. You just only run for trains you want to run for. Because you want to run for trains. You just want to run for the trains you want to run for. Because you like novelty. You like,
Yes, you do. You do. But the point of don't run for trains, that point is
don't run for every train.
It's to say, if it does not matter, there's no need for you to chase it.
Yes. But if it matters, chase it. So you do run for trains, certain trains.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
If you put it that way, yes. There are some things that, like, because the thing is, the bumper sticker that one for trains is to remind us to say there are certain things that's not important for you to sweat over, right? What was that thing that you said? The about the
I say a lot of shit. I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot. But
I'm kidding.
But I'm saying, there's things that is not important. So there's no need for you to like we all do the same thing. We have goals, whatever, but the goal is arbitrary, right? It's not the goal, because for us, goal doesn't mean that we're gonna be happy when you get it.
Right.
Because for us as human beings, we are on this motion. We need motion. Life is in a transition. It's to go from point A to point B, then to point C, and it keep going. Even if you have to go back and forth, you have to go back and forth. So it's not about in life, because life is like a balancing act, right? You can say, hey, I'm gonna go to the right and stay there. You can't, because when you go to the right, it's gonna tilt. So you have to go to the left, and then you're gonna tilt to the left, and then you have to go to the left. So you have to balance it, right? You have to balance on this disc of life. And so that is life. And so you can't really stand still, and you have to move to be still. Just like you're on a treadmill, for example. You have to move, because if time is a treadmill, right? Then you have to move in order for you to even maintain that status quo. If you don't move, you stay there, you are, receding. You're receding because if we see on its own as the time is a time as a treadmill belt, right? And
Right.
so you are inside of this machine of the universe. This universe and the gene, the managed gene is the gene that adapts you to the universe to survive. And in order for you to survive, it needs to be, designed for optimal activation, meaning it has changes. When it changes, it's going to start to activate. If it doesn't have changes, there's no need to activate. So it's going to conserve the energy. And but that's the thing is, you look at an African in Africa, you have like a rustling in the bush, and you pay attention. But
Right.
if there's nothing moves, nothing you're gonna jump out and eat you. There's no need for your brain to say, "Hey, I'm being heightened. I'm going to give all this fuel, all the juices to the brain," and say, "Hey, brain, you are already greedy enough. Give back some of those things." So they're gonna take back if that's not if the brain says, "Hey, I need this. I need this because there's some things that is moving, and I need a. I see changes. I see motions, right?" And so your brain says, "Hey, give me juice. Give me all the energy. Give me all the glucose for me to start to process it." And then your brain say, "Hey, I'm euphoric because I have all these things," and it feeds this chemical to the brain. The brain likes it, and so that's to me is my opinion on how the brain works, because your brain is going to shut down if there is nothing for the brains to do.
I agree. I mean,
Right?
I think that's
and for the brain to go and ask the body to say, "Hey, give me glucose," it is a very hard ask, because the brain say, "Hey, I need to watch." The body say, "No, there's nothing for you to do. I'm not gonna give you anymore." So it's gonna drain the glucose from the brain. It's gonna drain all the ketones from the brain. The brain doesn't run, right? The changes is what is what gives the brain the enough reason, enough ammunition to tell the body, "Hey, I need the energy." You don't need to process the repair. You don't need to process the digestions of your food, blah blah. Just give me the brain. So the brain is one of those things, and because we the brain is more cognitive, and we feel it the most. So we are more connected to the brain than the rest of the body. Therefore, I think that's the reason why we have to see changes in what we do. Because without the changes, it doesn't matter if you are the king. If there's nothing changes for you, your life is boring. It
right.
doesn't matter if you're the peasant. If nothing changes for you, life is boring. I mean,
Yep.
even in the peasant life, right? There are things that they changes for them. They change it, right? They see different things. They grow different things. They see the changes in seasons and in the growth of plants and whatever, and the harvest, whatever. That is what gives them the ability to keep up with emotion, to keep the brain functioning. So I mean, managed gene, human genes, to me, it's all the same.
So we are crazy. I mean, like,
We are crazy, but
yeah. I mean, and that's okay. I'm okay with it.
but who'd you say that's good or bad, right?
I don't know. Yeah, as I said, I don't know. Could be we're doing what we're supposed to do. Man, if you're bored, fix it. There's so many things to do in this world. Like just go try it. Like Shia LaBeouf says, right? Like just do it.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's it's an interesting book, man. I think I would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I
But
I
as far as the book is concerned, I don't think we are the six extensions.
I mean, I don't know. I really don't care. I mean, honestly, like it's kind of who gives a shit if we are. It was meant to be. Well, somebody will rebuild it and do better next time. Like I mean, they'll like, or they won't. I don't know, but I don't really care. It's not like you can stop us from exploring. Like
You cannot stop a bee from making dams.
right.
You cannot stop human being from being a human.
But what we can do is we can be more human and we can go explore new solutions like we've always done. Like, back in the 1900s, remember that book that we read about the alchemy of air, where there was a lot of speculation back in the turn of the century, the previous turn of the century, that we were gonna run out of food for the world. Because they're like, we just can't grow enough food. Like,
I
if
mean, that's
population keeps growing,
something that has happened many times in terms of the speculations.
I mean,
People have
hell,
speculated for many centuries, and then it was a problem. Then it wasn't a problem. Then it was a
right.
problem. Then it wasn't a problem. It's this projection, but it has never come to be that we we have the food crisis. Food
But,
crisis is not. It's not. I mean,
if anything, we have a food crisis. It's an overabundance of food.
that's
we're overfeeding
not the
ourselves
shortage
now.
of food,
Right,
not
yeah,
a
yeah,
shortage of food problem.
More people. This is no joke. For the first time in human history, more people are overfed than underfed. By far. Like, I mean,
obesity is.
That's what I'm saying.
a big
I'm
problem.
saying for the first time in human history, there is more people that are overfed than underfed. So it's not.
So that's not such thing as world hunger problem. I think that's.
now it's just now it's a food crisis the other way. It kind of is in a lot of ways. But the truth is if a beaver must dam, then and a human has the madness gene. Just keep going, and we'll figure it out.
There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do about
There is what you can do. You could be a human, and go do
this. Just
Just
be a beaver. If you're a beaver,
right.
If you're human,
Exactly.
be human. I mean, you
Exactly.
don't, like I say, don't run for trains. I mean, if it's not important to you, it does not pertain to you. It doesn't matter. Just do what you got to do. I mean, to me, let nature be nature. Don't try to change it, because I don't think we are smarter than Mother Nature, and we're not smarter than God, right? if God say, okay, I created humans, well, the thing is, he say, well, he created humans so that you can become extinct, right?
Right.
I mean, to think about it, I mean, however you take whatever perspective you take, whether you take the human nature perspective or the God spiritual perspective, it's is it Mother Nature puts you on Earth so that you can become extinct, or God put you on Earth so you can become extinct? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And a beaver must dam, let the beaver dam. I mean, imagine if you stop the beaver from building dams, see what happens.
Yep. No, bad shit.
That shit happens.
Yeah, bad shit happens.
I think if you try to stop being a human being, you will kill humans. You will have distinction. But if you don't, you say, "Hey, I'm a human being," then let me be who I want to be, who I need to be. Then there won't be an extinction.
Agreed. Agreed. All right. Let's, for the sake of my sanity, of wanting to watch my number 2 Purdue Boilermakers in the country playing in the Maui Invitational right now, currently against the top 10 team. Trying to hold down the fort, trying to win, trying to take home the title. We're having a big comeback season this season after losing to Farley Dickinson as only the second number 1 seed in the history of the NCAA tournament to lose to a 16 seed. We're gonna do it this year. We're going all the way. Like, we gotta we're getting a W right now. I'm gonna go watch this game. So
all right, man.
The question we can leave for everybody is oops, shit. Nothing. Yeah, nothing. The question we can leave for everybody is why do you think we crave novelty so much? Are you crazy? And if so, good. Embrace it. Be a human, right? That's the goal. All right, so let us know if you have any any final thoughts from you.
Just be you. Don't worry about extinctions or anything. Whether you're mad, you're a madness genes, or you're crazy, whatever. Just be you. I mean, to me, back to what I'm saying is life is meant to be enjoyed, and you have to satisfy the gene that you have. If the gene you have is a crazy madness gene, then you gotta do crazy madness thing.
Agreed.
Simple as that.
Couldn't say it any better myself. Well, thanks for joining, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow night.
Sounds good. See ya.